So that's why we had to try to fix this. And so eventually the iterations moved over to a true welded. Well, there's the one I was looking for. That's the original. You've got brass elbows that move, get over tightened, under tightened, and then these were in there. So we had to move from that over to, I don't even have one except in a machine.
That's the latest.
That's the latest, where
Let's
everything
take a
is
look at
laser
that.
welded, both on the hub and at the elbows.
Yeah.
This, unfortunately, is not a Mosmatic swivel. This is locally made, actually. But
So they're not using Mosmatic anymore.
no, I'm just trying to cut some cost.
Ah, okay.
One of the challenges I have is if they're not precision manufactured, they're going to be out of balance. You have vibration, you'll wear out your bearings faster. But another subject. So we were trying to figure out how to lower costs, and about then the competition started coming on the market with other types of spinners.
Who was the first competitor?
Rotational molded. The very first would have been out of Texas, not Namco.
Can't remember.
I can't remember.
All right.
It's too long ago. But they were made in Asia, and they came over. In fact, the trade show we saw them at, they were made of ABS, and they had the vacuum compensator and everything, and that's where the patent, they were in violation of the patent with the compensator, and they had painted it, they had done an iteration where they painted it silver so it looked metal. But they had a dead violation of patent on that one.
Was there anything done about it?
Yeah, we served them, and that was...
They stopped producing?
Stopped producing it. They just took that out.
Oh,
So now
okay.
they're just sort of good, sort of lousy. So we knew we needed to be more more automated. We needed to make things more consistent. We need to lower cost, because so we manufactured the handles. Women welded all the handles in China for us. They were the better
This
welder.
tool you said first went on the market in 1999, correct?
This iteration,
This one.
yeah.
And then this, which is pretty much the latest,
Yeah.
just with a
It's-
clear head. And
yeah,
that,
we
when did that
decided
come
to
out?
Mess around with the newer head. I'm really not sure how quickly. There was quite a run on these. It was like 2.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
We sold the most during that time because it was that new and there was little competition. When the competition showed up, we had to, because they were injection molding, they were roto molding. We had
I would say that those were the sweet years of the tile and grout industry, where from 99 to, I don't know, 2004, 2005, $2, $3, $4 a foot. Because that was it.
It was pretty impressive.
And now everybody's got one of these, or a knockoff. Yeah, and now people are doing it for 30 cents a foot and 10 cents a seal or something ridiculous. Yeah.
There were some design changes that had to happen because of we wanted the injection mold, so we could do anything we wanted. We could change the position of the compensator. We can just do different things. The speed release for pins was a later idea that I didn't have much to do with, because I didn't like the idea of a knob sticking out to rub a cabinet while you're under a toe
Yeah,
clip. They're in the way. The original design was flush like this, and it just trouble-free. But my partner at the time wanted to make sure there was going to be a rack we could put on with wheels, a wheel kit. I don't know what a wheel kit's needed for, but
For concrete.
outside concrete, when you have friction, well, that's what the hard boot is for. The hard boot is to glide smoothly on the high textured surfaces, and the brush was designed to run on tile, smoother surfaces.
Okay, so what's the story on this? This is the first time I've ever seen this
After we
one.
got this going, it was pretty viral. Everybody wanted.
Oh, this is before this one?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Well, no, it wasn't. I'm sorry. It is out of sequence. We were ready to start that idea of injection molding, so we had to mass produce.
Easy, Tiger.
That was going to be replicatable, perfect, and in every way. So we had a Texas company bidding on the production of it. We had a really good designer, but he was driven.
A different Texas company than that made the knockoff?
Yeah, totally different.
Okay.
It was an Asian company. This is really a U.S. company. But it was so over-engineered. When we got it together, when we priced out parts, when we looked at what can go wrong with it.
Boy,
like
what's
this
going on in there?
This was a removable collar that would let
Just
me
by a twist?
just twist bayonet.
No
and
lock?
You can change your hard boot to a brush boot just that quickly. Problem is the plastic wasn't that durable. I think we've got one finger already broken
Oh, yeah.
here.
How many of these are there out there? Is this on one and
There
only?
are 6, and I still have every one of them.
You own 6 of these?
I just picked this up today, actually. I have not touched this actual one, but I have the other ones in various parts.
What's going on here? Just an
This
elbow?
is the connection between this and the vacuum tube. This was a lathe part. It's tapered. So it's tapered lathe all the way down to here so it can snug in and create a tight fit. But it is super thick. I mean, you can feel that. It's just ridiculously heavy.
Holy cow.
It's the last thing you want to carry in
What's
the house.
what's the yellow lever there for?
Well, that was your vacuum relief.
Is it broken?
We have no. We have a vacuum relief here on the original version, which is a PMF
Sure.
internal
Yeah,
tube. We have a
recognize that.
vacuum relief up here on this handle.
Yeah.
Okay, so people with vortexes need to relieve a little pressure, a little vacuum. So this one had an internal one. Like I said, it's well engineered, just not very practical. Just because someone engineers all the, anyways, it does slide up
broken?
and down. But it's like I say, it's a
It's
very
way up there.
It's a very poor follow on the design. Everything's too wide. It's very top heavy, and the project failed pretty quick and began.
So those never really sold. There's 6 of them, but they're all they never
six,
made it.
and we
Okay.
never wanted to make them because they were just fraught with too many engineering
So
issues.
I mean, there's really hasn't been any changes in these.
The only changes
Maybe the mounting on the head,
yeah, they changed with these
the
pins. so that you
vacuum
can quickly
plate.
change it
It's
out.
a little different.
This one is actually same, except we've widened this so more airflow goes in. So these are old iterations. Here's an old iteration, and here is when we were testing different compositions of glass. This is nylon, CF nylon, with glass fill. And you can see how much more flexible this is. It's very flexible compared to the
Let's
final,
see that one.
the final density that we have.
Oh boy, yeah, big
And
difference.
this is the final density.
And what are those 2 clear ones you got, or 3 clear
And
ones?
the clear ones were just, we wanted to be able to show at trade shows the concept so you can see what's going on.
Okay.
It's got sizzle when you can see. Just plastics that go clear have no strength. He said it's already cracked and it hardly ever got, never got used. It just got dropped. So it would be impractical. These are just trade show demonstration units that we could show the concept of a piece of plexiglass covering it and the suction of the water going through to the portable extractor. We could demonstrate right there live. Because when people saw these, they didn't understand, well, what is it, scrubber? Where's the motor? They didn't understand this is a pressure washing spinner and suction all simultaneous. And so this was a light bulb moment for people. They could understand what's really going on here. There was a compensator right there.
So were you setting up at early trade shows with a high PSI portable to kind of give demos?
Exactly, so we could just see the demo. In fact, they could actually pull it across the tile board and see the action going on. It would create interest, and dealers would want to carry the tool in their stores. So, other than that, they've made a 15-inch version, which I'm appreciative of the opportunity to explain why bigger is not better. When you have a bigger spinner tool, unless you have a 3,000 psi Vortec or a machine that could produce the water pressure and the volume, you change your jets out. Now you have spin action that's at the same RPM or the equal RPM to prevent a spiral effect. If this is too big, it takes longer for that spray bar to come to the start point of the other jet. And so if you don't move slower, you're going to get a corkscrew cleaning effect.
Yeah, I've noticed that. I
And
got
that's
some of
what
the bigger
15-inch
ones.
does. It's not a better tool. You just now have to travel slower with that bigger tool. So you have no benefit.
So
The natural next step was to have a mini version for showers and vertical walls and tight spots behind the commode and so forth. So the original Turbo Mini had no brush boot. It was just a hard boot. We made it also the same vacuum form process here in Phoenix to form the shell, the outer shell, and the inner shell. Early on, I had to weld each of the inside spacers so that they could separate and keep a gap so they wouldn't crunch together and cut off the vacuum flow. But this was a very effective, tight tool that was convenient, easy to use without the brush, unfortunately. After a while, we knew we were going to injection mold, so let's make a sexy version of the old guy. And I never really could fall in love with the idea that this is going to be better. It's actually heavier, more top heavy.
I never liked the way the hose attached to
It's
that.
just not. It's not
Yeah.
friendly. It's inch and a half, inch and a quarter was sufficient. So I never liked the weight. The weight on this is almost 40% more. This whole thing with the hose hanging was lighter than this, empty, without hoses. So the gun is I don't even know what make it is. I don't remember.
So Mark, here we are 20 years later, essentially, since the
Original.
the first turbo tile spinner. What's changed in the tile cleaning industry is everybody's doing it now. There's more and more chemistry available. There's lots of arguments on whether or not you need to pre-scrub or how you pre-scrub. Sealers are getting easier to apply, where you have the option to just mop them on the floor now. But where would you see the tile cleaning industry advance to in, let's say, another 5 years, as carpet is being removed, lots of LVPs putting in,